Did you know there are 70 countries in this room? We've got 70 countries, over 120 firms in this room. Over the next 3 days, we have 358 participants, unique participants. Tomorrow, for the first time, we're doing a business-type forum on real estate and hotels, first time. And then we've got a global tax conference. We're starting to live and breathe and think like a vibrant global organization. And for me, this is becoming more and more dreams fulfilled. So I hope over this half hour with me and over the next few days, you're going to be informed, inspired, encouraged, motivated to build something even bigger and greater. I want to just take a minute, though. This is Jim Carlin. Many won't know who Jim Carlin is. Jim Carlin was one of the founders of HCVT in California. Great man. I had dinner with him a couple of years ago. He passed away suddenly on holiday in Italy just recently. And still active partner, great friend of Greg Hutchins. So, colleagues, we honor this man's memory. He did a great job. He was a good traditional CPA, but built a very, very successful firm. So, Jim Carlin, we honor you. So in honoring and welcoming, we have, here are some of our new firms. Andy said we have a big pipeline coming as well. So rather than go through them all individually, can I ask all those in our new firms to please stand up so we can give you a very, very warm welcome. Please stand. Everybody in our new firms, please stand. Tous les Français aussi. Oui. Thank you so much. And it was wonderful yesterday, and you're going to hear more about it over the course of the conference. Yesterday, I saw the business card that really made me smile. It said, Moore, France. I've been dreaming about Moore, France for a long time, and it became real, and I really want to honor all of you. But we're going to hear more about that as we go on. So let's get to the business. How are we doing in Moore? We think we're going to reach $5 billion this year. $5 billion potentially plus. Percentage growth, we're not entirely sure yet. All the returns are not in. Some of the bigger firms are reaching in the 20% growth plus. Many of them are double-digit growth. Our numbers overall may be affected by the fact that, and some of you are aware of this, that in China, Moore Dahua has had some regulatory challenges, and they were banned for 6 months from listed work. That ban is coming to an end in a few weeks, but there is a potential that they could lose about 35% of their business. So our overall numbers may unfortunately be impacted on that. So that's provisional, but the reality is we believe that we are going to be a $5 billion business as we go into 2025. We're growing. We don't know how all of you are growing because you haven't told us yet, but we'll find that information pretty soon. It's so much better to be in a growing network than one that's not. And some of our competitors are not growing. In fact, they are shrinking. So this is a good sign for us. And I think it's simply a sign of what is to come. Now, where do we stand in the world just now? Now, these are the 2024 IAB rankings. We're number 11. Let me tell you, this may be a league table we've been familiar with for a while. And I've always said we want to be in the top 10. We want to be a permanent fixture. If I had my dream, we'd be number 8 at least. My successor is pushing Moore to become a household name in professional services globally. The world is looking for new names. The world is looking for something different. But that's where we are. You see what our competitors are. And the world is changing. I mean, Andy mentioned it. I think he was understating it almost. There is a pace of change that modern professional services has never seen before. Some of you may remember the time they went from the group of firms, what was it, Andy? It was 8, and then it went to 4. I think we're going to go from 4 to this. Everything is moving, and actually dramatically faster than it did when it went from the 8 to the 4. Now, here's a few examples of this changing market. CBIZ, again, very American-orientated. They acquired Marcom, $1.2 billion acquisition. They've created a super force. Now, they're an interesting business. I'm not here to comment on our competitors, but it's a reality. Who would have imagined that one happening? But yet they are going to be a big organization in a relatively smaller, well, go back, Creston here. They're going to influence this. So Creston's going to be dominated by a very, very, very large firm. And effectively, it's going to be CBIZ plus whatever it is. But then we saw Mazars merge with a big US firm and create Forvis. Nobody anticipated that one coming. And now we've got the situation where Grant Thornton USA are acquiring Grant Thornton UK. It's a bit of a defensive tactic. We've just saw last week RSM America announced that they're merging with RSM UK. Stuff is happening. This table is going to go up and down, and we're going to see marriages, arrangements, acquisitions, mergers that none of us anticipated. Now, one thing is absolutely for sure, colleagues. We are not being left behind. We're creating our own future. We had a fantastic global board meeting, probably the best global board meeting since I joined on Saturday morning. And that board were thinking bigger thoughts than I've ever heard before. So much so that we are now going to meet. I'm going to bring the leaders of the top 20 firms together every quarter to dream and imagine. We're not going to let the world happen round about us. We're going to influence as much of this as possible. But part of the change is not just what's happening to the firms. Read this. If you think your audit business is safe, I said this to you last year in London, if you are not transforming your audit practice through technology, you will not exist in 5 years. You won't be at this table. It's the number one cause of change just now. Use of technology. When people go in for tender, their technology is near the top of it. It's not price. How many of you are pitching on quality when you go to your tender? But then we've got another challenge, and this is existential in America. The number of US accounting graduates fallen to the lowest level in 15 years. And here's the one. 75% of existing CPAs, present company excluded, are at or near retirement. You're a demographic planner. We have a crisis. So that means anybody coming into the profession is a precious commodity. We first have to attract them, then we have to keep them, and we have to keep them as long as possible. So colleagues, we need to be thinking the whole continuum of a human being's presence in our business, so we're not in the thick of this battle with everybody else and all we're competing on is salary. And you're going to hear me talk about that today. But here's the interesting one, and you've heard me talk about this the last 3 years. And I put it on growth. It's not just changing. Growth is being fueled by private equity. Now here's a test today. Can I ask to stand up every person here who is in a firm with private equity investment? Please, I know who you are, but please just let others see. Look. Colleagues, it's happening. So, thanks, colleagues. Matt Armanino announced on Friday a 20% investment. 20%. It's a minority investment, a different approach. Pat Fueling over there. Don Mayhew announced an investment just last month. It is happening. There will be more. There will be more private equity-funded firms joining Moore in the very near future. This is going to be part of the agenda here. And one of the things that we're seeing, and where Alan and Matt were talking about their plans at the board meeting the other day, we're talking about large firms. And I'll let Alan tell his story. I'll let Peter Visheldon tell his story. I'll let Matt and Matt Meadows from Merck Kingston Smith, they're all going to tell briefly their story today. And it's all growth. We're needing the capital to make the investments to do the things we need to do to keep up. So not just we stay alive, we thrive. So people say, oh, I'm very suspicious about private equity. The CEO here is definitely not. It is a growth accelerator both for the firms and for Moore. I think it's a cultural catalyst for transformation. to become something we never even dreamed possible a few years ago. So what are your key challenges backing? This is what you're telling us. We see what the world, and they're the same. It's gone up from 84 to 88. Staff retention acquisition, you can't get them. 88% of you. Technology has gone up again. Regulatory changes, it's gone up again. And I'm so pleased that we're able to do so much in Moore through our quality team to get you ready, prepared, and strong for the regulatory challenges that are happening. But what you're seeing in Moore and from Moore, we're getting you more connected. We're providing solutions for you. We're giving more market visibility for you in the market. People know the name more. I was in the airport and the CEO of a major listed company, who I know very well, top 20, he says, Anton, what's going on in Moore? He says, we don't do anything with you, but you're everywhere. He says, people are noticing. He says, even on our board, it's come up in conversation. People are noticing. Our visibility is growing all the time. And as Andy said, and you're going to hear from Margie, and I'm saying it again today, we are delivering transformational learning. But I'm going to go again. If Andy and I mention Moore Ambition 20 times in the next 2 days, it's because we believe in it. If our leaders and our young ones feel they're invested in, they'll stay. And this is, we're trying so hard. And it's, do you know the great thing is so many of you managing partners have now come to Moore Ambition. I think it's Pierre Conradi. Where are you, Pierre Conradi? Is it feeding you? As a managing partner, think what it's doing for all these young ones. And thanks, Peter, for coming and set that example. You're going to hear from Margie a new concept on Moore Academies, elevating our learning to something more significant that none of our competitors have. You're going to hear Viv and our team talk about the launch of our Audit Academy. You're going to hear about a Sustainability Academy. You're going to hear the future about Financial Reporting, Business Development Academy, Ethics Academy. We want to provide to every one of your firms in every language all the training you need to keep your people hungry, enthused, developed, so you don't need to go anywhere else, and save you all the money along the way. But then here is the hidden gem, Andy. On the global board, we heard from Viv all the things that are happening in quality. We use this phrase, but it tends to sit in the background. Seeing the environment we are in just now, and if our dreaming is right, this foundation of quality and everything we do is the very thing that's going to allow us to be the Moore that we are dreaming to be. And I'm delighted Viv is going to begin up. I'm not going to tell her story. She's been doing this and driving it. We are best in class. Honestly, the others are looking at us and say, that's the benchmark where we need to get to in the development of quality. It takes years to do it. It's been going on, but in the background for the years that I've been here, and Viv's been here, one day you may say, thank you. Because it's built a foundation that's solid. And when you've got international clients, you know when a piece of work goes over there, your clients are not going to be disappointed. The regulators are not going to find a big issue in this country that's going to undermine the work in that country. That's what it means to be a global business. But here's the thing. We've just produced our new, we're refreshing our strategy. One of the things that we're saying in the strategy, we want data, better data, so that we can drive value for you. We're obsessed with providing value to you, but the best way that we can continue to do that is by giving us data. So we're going to be looking at different ways of getting real-time data about how you feel about us, what's working, what your needs are. All the different shapes and sizes, we can segment the data so we can go, they need that, they need that. We want to be as fast, if not faster, than the very best of our competitors in giving you value in the same way that you're generating data to deliver for your clients better than your competitors. We're going to see this a lot, colleagues. Data, data, data to drive improvement and value. Moore Artificial Intelligence. Can't be here not talk about artificial intelligence. It's transformed everything. Everybody's thinking about it. Everybody's worrying about it. CEOs around the world are going from up and down. They don't know what to do. They're hiring guys, saying, what do we need to do? There are more solutions coming on market all the time, and people say, where do we go? The beautiful thing here, we don't know where we're going, but what I can tell you, the top technologists in Sitchin-Cooperman, in Armanino, Belgium, Johnson Carmichael, MKS, Johannesburg, Afghanistan, Sanzar as well. Who have I missed out there? DRV as well. They are meeting going, what do we need? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? By the early 2025, we're going to be presenting use cases to the entire network, potentially even solutions. Peter Visheld's business, and he'll tell you a bit about it, they have created such a business. If you have a problem, operational problem, software solution, go to him. Big issue today for the big software companies. Artificial intelligence is dramatically reducing the time, cost, labor for developing new software. They are terrified. AI is dramatically changing this. And whereas we were stuck with big legacy systems, I think you're going to see over the next few years new businesses appear because AI is able to do it far cheaper. And here's the deal. More firms are going to be providing the solutions for you. You're going to hear from Sakir, from Sitchin-Cooperman tomorrow. What's to say they don't provide solutions and we buy it off them? Matt Armanino's firm's developed Audit Ally. We could take it off them. All the solutions we may in fact just be in the family. But we need to find ways of integrating artificial intelligence in our life that's consistent, or we're learning, doesn't all need to be the same. So you have a group of people thinking for you, and we will hopefully roll out more of those solutions. But back from artificial intelligence to more intelligence. We produce these thought pieces. Roland, stand up. He writes them for us. He was a brilliant journalist and a newspaper editor, and he's writing the pieces for us. And why are we doing it? People say, why are you doing this stuff, Anton? Why? We want to gain respect. We want people to say, we like their opinion. This afternoon, we're going to be publishing this to the world. Sustainability is moving from buzzword to business critical. And I know there's a lot of politics around ESG and sustainability. It's here to stay. Certainly the sustainability part. It's here to stay, and I want to make sure that we are in the lead here. This is going out to the market this afternoon, and I do believe there's going to be quite an interest in some of the things that we are saying. I appreciate all the pioneers that joined when I had this crazy idea with Jeff to create Pioneers. We did no ESG expertise. Let's start at the beginning. So these all came in 2022, and they gave us $10,000, and I'm grateful for all of you. Then you guys come in 2023. I'm grateful. Here, Piotr, see Polska? Yes, see it there. You all said, we don't know what to do, but let's get in together. And now, I'm just mentioning to you, these guys are making money. It's working. Now, you might say, well, why are all the others not making money? Well, I think sometimes they didn't have the infrastructure. They didn't want to be left out of the party. Let's be in, but didn't quite know what to do with it. You didn't have a leader in the firm, a figurehead. But we're starting to get it together. Now what we're going to do in Moore, we're now going to stop calling it Moore ESG. It's now going to be Moore Sustainability Services. As of today, we're stopped using the word ESG, Sustainability Services. You're going to hear from Mark Stewart, our new global leader. Andy hugged him earlier on. He's very huggable. Very good for sustainability. We now have a team. They're all volunteers. Nobody's paid here by Moore. They're paid by their own firms, and they are going to make money by supporting you. They will charge you to help you. This is not charity, but they are here to help you. So if you're sitting there going, we've got a client who's asking for it, we don't know how to do it, we'll find a way. We'll charge you for it. So well done, all the team of volunteers here. Let me introduce a new word. This second part of this is where we'll get to the heart of it. Homeostasis is your new word. You're going to stick with this word for a long, long time. Homeostasis is a natural phenomenon that happens in us every day that is probably the blueprint for the perfect organization. Homeostasis is the things that make sure your body stays at 37 degrees. Homeostasis is the thing that ensures the pH levels in your body are maintained the same level. Your blood sugar levels, your calcium levels. There are multiple organs and functions, many of them seen, some of them microscopic, who deliver homeostasis for us. It keeps us alive. Sometimes when our homeostasis gets depleted, we die or we get sick. But it's a multitude of different pieces. So colleagues, I'm talking about homeostasis here because in your life, personally, in your firm, in Moore Global, we need a functioning homeostasis. Everybody's got to be working. We can't have sitters and watchers. Everybody's a giver, not a taker. All the partners in a firm have to be playing their part in this homeostasis, otherwise it dies. You wonder your biggest leadership challenges in your firms is when the homeostasis of the firm isn't working because people are not doing their bit to keep this body thriving. But the other thing about homeostasis of an organization, because I think they've been writing books about this for 50 years. What's the perfect organization? How am I going to be the most successful business? And everybody writes a different thing. We're nuance here, a nudge there, a subtle difference there. The reality is, a successful organization has its own homeostasis. It's not just a profit. It's not just a function. It's not just a leadership. It's not just a structure. It's a multitude of things that organically make something alive. Alive, not just functional. When people feel connected to their colleagues and leaders, they work harder, faster, more creatively. Connected. The homeostasis of a business. Managers who think their organizations and managers care about them report less burnout, better mental health and morale, and have a greater intent to stay at their companies. This is a homeostatic response that's going on, colleagues. And sometimes we think we get all this bit right, and you forget this bit. You've got deficient homeostasis, and you wonder why we're limping, why we're not functioning optimally. There's a lot more here, and as leaders here, and this is why we've spent, and Matt Armagnac will forever be grateful to you and Andy at the beginning when you developed the Harvard program. Transformational to help create great leaders. That's why we spend so much time in Moore Ambition. That's why Margie does so much time in leadership development. And colleagues, from here to here, we are all leaders. And the leaders are a fundamental of this homeostasis. Good leaders, caring leaders, tough leaders, demanding leaders, human leaders. You get it? Think about the way your body works. Get this all working well. You get the balance, you thrive and grow. That's why I'm delighted that we've joined the Mindful Business Chart, and Lynn is going to tell us a bit about that later. We're looking after the mental health and the well-being of our people. A lot of people talk about it. We want to do it. You'll hear more about that soon. So this is why we're changing. Andy mentioned it earlier on. Part of the homeostasis of a professional services firm, we now believe the more balance needs a higher profile of social ambition. A modern professional services firm that differentiates itself has to be socially ambitious. So this is our new line, to be the world's most respected and socially ambitious professional service firm. Our economic ambition will be matched by our social ambition. Anton, come on. We're running big businesses. Think homeostasis. Keep thinking how your body works, all the different bits. Social ambition gives life to the body, to the people, to the heart, helps the body function well. So I'm encouraging all of you, and you hear from Biv, to be a more socially ambitious firm. And we're now going to codify more of this in what we're going to be launching today as a better way, the Moore way. You heard it here, a better way, the Moore way. Louise has been working on this one. She's going to share this new vision of the kind of organization we want to be, the kind of organization we want to say when we're recruiting people, the kind of organization we want to say when we're talking to our clients. A better way, the Moore way. This guy, this is a Scotsman, John Buchan. He was actually Lord Tweedsmuir, Governor General in Canada. The task of leadership is not to put greatness in, but to elicit it, because the greatness is already there. Sometimes we think our interventions as a leader, we're forcing it into people. Get them to do this, go on this course, go on that one, do that one. It's going to magic it. It's going to come out. We're going to put it in them. We need to elicit it. We need to learn as a group of leaders. I need to keep learning it as a CEO. How do I keep bringing out the greatness in Margie? You're going to hear from Margie and Louise and Viv and Jeff and Roland. That's my job. You are all leaders. The key task in leadership is bringing it out. And you can't do it on the cheap. You can't do it with very, very little time invested in it. It's something that's going to be part of the DNA of everything you do in the leadership of your firm, your service line, and your practice. Now, I want to this is my second last quote today. Because I remember my first job as a CEO, people says, "What the heck are you doing? This is a disaster. You're a 41-year-old. This is going to be the end of your career. The organization's a basket case." And I went, smiled. Yeah, this is for me. The kind of dreaming we're doing in Moore just now, people say, "Don't be so stupid." Some of you might be saying, "This guy's deluded, thinking we can do it." That gives me no greater pleasure. And for all of us who are dreaming, and some of your fellow partners say, nah, that's too bold a stroke. Mark, when you're talking to the partners in Johnson Carmichael, they're going, "Ooh, Mark, that's a bit." The greatest pleasure, colleagues, at this moment in time when life is changing so much, is to take pleasure in this. And if it's easy, you're asking the wrong questions. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not doing the right things. Because if we're not, somebody else is coming up beside us. I want to take you back here. Remember her? My granddaughter, Anna. She nearly died. It's my finger. 3 months she was in an incubator. She was 650 grams. 3 months. We went to visit her to say goodbye. And I remember, if you don't remember when I first introduced this, I talk about the healing power of the human touch. They said the human touch is the thing that heals these neonatal babies. And I said to you at that time, human touch in Moore is the very thing that will allow us to grow and thrive ourselves, but also the human touch will have a profound impact on the life, success, and work of our clients and our people. I'm sticking with it. Look at her. Look at her. She nearly wasn't there. So she's walked the journey with Moore. As she's grown, we've grown. This is her. You touch her. That's her, Anna. That is a living example of homeostasis at work. Homeostasis is how you deal with the challenges of the external environment and survive. She survived. I don't know what she's going to become in life, but she's learned to fight. She's learned to be a resourceful, determined little woman. Andy's had the pleasure to see her, and I don't know what she's going to become. But it's a bit like, as she's been thriving, this line that we've been using since I first took the job as a CEO, we want to help you thrive in a changing world. The word thrive, do you know what the word thrive means? To flourish, to blossom, to grow, to become something beautiful, something more special than you ever imagined possible. So colleagues, my job as a CEO, the job of the team here at Moore Global, the board, everybody here working together, is not only that we thrive as firms, we thrive as individuals, our people thrive. Every single client that we have thrives, and every other client that we don't have looks at them and goes, "I want to be thriving like them." This isn't pie in the sky. Just this is a vision of something that we can touch and make real. Are you for it? Do you want to do this? I'm not finished. If anybody's saying this is impossible, you've given me no greater pleasure today. I'm going to smile all. I mean, tell some more jokes, Andy. Some bad ones. So, colleagues, a pleasure to serve you as your CEO, and I'm so glad that you're here. And I thank every one of you for the sacrifices, the offerings, the gifts, what you do, the yeses you say, in a million unseen ways that's making this organization very, very special. So, thank you all very much indeed.